Welcome back to High Stakes, where we help you elevate your betting strategy. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay updated with our daily content. Looking for exclusive access to premium betting picks? Join us on Patreon. Links are available in the comments section below. Stay ahead of the game with High Stakes. Here we go. The Indiana Pacers, 16-18, and the Miami Heat, 17-14, are about to deliver another thrilling installment of NBA action on Thursday. Get ready for some top-tier Eastern Conference drama, folks. The Pacers are currently in their usual mid-tier limbo, sitting at a lovely 16-18, barely scraping into the playoff hunt at 8th place. After a magical 5-game winning streak, when they weren't facing powerhouse teams, they've hit their stride, losing 3 out of their last 4. Most recently, they got demolished by the Celtics and Bucks. But hey, they beat the Celtics one time. Big win, right? The Pacers are still favorites to make the playoffs at -205 because, well, the Eastern Conference is just so stellar. However, don't get too excited about them making a playoff run. Plus 15,000 to win the title? Yeah, not looking like a championship contender anytime soon. Then there's the Bucks game, where they just couldn't keep up with the stat sheet, losing in every category imaginable. Still, shout out to Bennedict Mathurin for putting up 25 points on decent shooting. That was the highlight, folks. On the other hand, we got the Miami Heat, another mid-tier team who are just dying for a shot at a title, as long as it's not actually this year. But they've got Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, which makes them dangerous, at least when they're not off playing slow, plodding basketball. At 17-14, they're 6th in the East and have won 2 straight games, They're 4-1 in their last 5, so yeah, they're fine at best. They did just beat the Pelicans, but that's on the heels of a back-to-back. They'll be exhausted, right? But hey, they've handled it fine in the past, so maybe not. Jimmy Butler is back after missing 12 days. And hey, it's not like he's going to carry them to the finals, but he's there. That's something. Now, we're about to watch a slow-paced slugfest, where the Heat will probably take control because, spoiler alert, Indiana's defense is still terrible, 24th in defensive efficiency. Miami, on the other hand, is actually good at defense, go figure. So, expect Miami to do just enough to win. But don't get too hyped. They're just as mediocre as the Pacers. Prediction: Heat -1.5. This game will be boring and low-scoring, and I'm going with the Heat to edge it out, even though they're on the back end of a back-to-back. It's not like they have a history of falling apart in these situations, right? Prediction: under 226.5 points. Neither team can score consistently enough to hit that over, especially with Miami's snail-paced offense. Here are some game prop picks based on your breakdown of the Pacers versus Heat matchup. Jimmy Butler over 18.5 points. Why it works. Jimmy Butler's return from injury has been gradual, but he's still the Heat's go-to player when they need a bucket. Even though he may not play heavy minutes due to conditioning, the Pacers' defense is ripe for exploitation, particularly since they rank 24th in defensive efficiency. Butler is Miami's primary scorer, and with the team playing a slower pace, expect him to take on an even larger role to lead the offense. He's been averaging 18.5 PPG, so hitting 19 points or more in a game against a shaky defense seems entirely possible. Bam Adebayo, over 9.5 rebounds. Why it works. Adebayo has been a dominant force in the paint, both offensively and defensively. The Heat will need him to control the glass, especially in a game that is likely to be physical and low-scoring. The Pacers struggle defensively, and while they have some solid rebounders, Adebayo's all-around skill set allows him to consistently rack up boards. The Heat's pace might slow things down, but Adebayo's ability to box out and snag rebounds, especially with Indiana's subpar defensive presence, makes this a smart pick. Tyler Herro over 3.5 three-pointers made. Why it works. Herro has been lighting it up from beyond the arc, and Indiana's defense is not known for contesting perimeter shots effectively. While Miami's offense isn't high-flying, Herro is capable of getting in a rhythm quickly when given space. With Butler and Adebayo commanding attention in the paint, Herro could be left open for several three-point attempts. If he gets hot early, he's more than capable of hitting 4+ three-pointers. Given the likely pace and style of play, look for Herro to take around 8 to 10 three-point attempts, making at least 4 of them. First half under 110.5 points. Why it works. This prop is especially appealing when considering several key factors that contribute to a slow, low-scoring first half. Here's a deeper dive into the reasoning. Miami's back-to-back fatigue. The Miami Heat are playing their second game in as many nights, which historically affects teams' energy and pace of play. Playing a back-to-back means they are less likely to push the tempo or run in transition, which usually results in a slower start. Teams on the second leg of a back-to-back often conserve energy by focusing on half-court sets, playing tighter defense and slowing the game down. Miami, being a team that already prefers a slower pace, ranking 26th in the league in possessions per game, will likely come out with an emphasis on conserving energy, especially early on. Indiana's offensive inconsistency. The Pacers have been known for having an offense that can be very hot and cold. While they rank 10th in offensive efficiency, averaging 111.7 points per 100 possessions, their attack is prone to bouts of inconsistency, particularly when facing tough defensive teams. Miami's defense ranks 10th in defensive efficiency, and it's likely to disrupt Indiana's flow. If Indiana struggles to hit shots early, it'll contribute to a low-scoring first half. Additionally, the Pacers' offensive sets tend to take time, relying on ball movement and perimeter shooting, which naturally slows the game down. Miami's defensive focus. The Heat are one of the best defensive teams in the league, and while they might not be elite at creating turnovers, they excel at controlling tempo and preventing easy baskets. Miami's defensive style doesn't rely on fast break points. Instead, they focus on forcing their opponents into difficult half-court situations. Indiana's offense, especially in the first half of games, has struggled against teams that focus on slowing them down, which is exactly what Miami excels at. Expect the Heat to force the Pacers into contested shots early in the game, and this should contribute to a slower pace. Pace of play. As previously mentioned, both teams play at a slower than average pace. Miami's 99.2 possessions per game is the 26th in the league, while Indiana plays at a moderate pace, 17th in the league, averaging 100.6 possessions per game. With both teams generally operating in a half-court offense, there's little reason to expect a fast-paced opening quarter, especially considering the fatigue factor from Miami's back-to-back. The slower tempo should naturally limit scoring opportunities and keep the score lower than expected. Settling into the game. Early in games, teams typically work out their defensive schemes and look to establish a rhythm. In the first half, teams are still adjusting, and this is where Miami's defensive prowess and Indiana's inconsistencies become even more evident. The first 24 minutes of play often see lower scoring as both teams figure out how to exploit mismatches and find offensive flow. Miami, with its slow-paced play and solid defense, will try to control tempo from the tip-off, while Indiana will likely need to adapt and adjust to Miami's defensive schemes, which could take some time and result in fewer fast break opportunities. Key players' contributions. In terms of offensive contributions, Indiana's key scorers like Bennedict Mathurin and Tyrese Haliburton can be inconsistent. While Mathurin has been hot recently, he's still a young player who may struggle against the defensive challenges Miami presents. Haliburton, though more consistent, can be neutralized by Miami's defensive schemes. Meanwhile, Miami's offense revolves around Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, but both players often rely on a slower, methodical approach, especially in a game that is expected to be a grind. Neither team has a particularly explosive offense that can lead to high-scoring first halves, especially in a slower-paced matchup. And that's a wrap on today's video, folks. I'm sure you're absolutely on the edge of your seat, eagerly awaiting the next thrilling installment of this channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because clearly you don't want to miss any of our daily videos. I mean, who could live without them? And while you're at it, smash that notification bell, so you can be the first to know when we drop more gems like this. Oh, and if you're looking for some premium picks, because, let's be honest, who isn't? Join our Patreon. It's where the real magic happens. Premium picks, insider info, and possibly even some mildly entertaining banter. So, hit that link, and we'll see you on the inside. Until next time, enjoy the game, make those bets, and remember, you're welcome.